Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samar News. Here are today's headlines. The Israeli military has reported that Raed Saeed, a key figure behind the 7th October 2023 attacks on Israel, has been targeted in a strike on a car in Gaza City. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz said the strike was in response to a Hamas attack earlier in the day, which injured 2 Israeli soldiers. Gaza health authorities say the strike killed 5 people and wounded at least 25 others. There has been no immediate confirmation from Hamas or local medics that Saeed was among the dead. Israel has issued an evacuation warning for the village of Yanu in southern Lebanon ahead of a planned military strike. An Israeli military spokesperson said the target is infrastructure linked to the Hezbollah militant group. This would mark the second such strike in recent days, following attacks on what Israel described as Hezbollah sites earlier this week. At least 4 US service members have been injured following an unidentified attackers firing on a joint patrol in the central Syrian town of Palmyra. A US official said that some of the injured American personnel are in critical condition. Syrian state news agency reported that 2 Syrian service members were also wounded in the attack. According to the same source, the assailant was killed. No further details have been released so far. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan says peace between Russia and Ukraine may be within reach, following talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Speaking after the meeting, Erdogan said he hopes to discuss a potential peace plan with the US President Donald Trump, adding that peace is not far away. Erdogan met Putin in Turkmenistan, where both leaders reviewed what Ankara described as comprehensive efforts to bring the war in Ukraine to an end, with Turkey reaffirming its readiness to support any peace initiative. Germany will host US and Ukrainian delegations over the weekend for talks on a ceasefire in Ukraine, ahead of a summit with European leaders and President Volodymyr Zelensky in Berlin on Monday. A US official said overnight that President Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, and son-in-law Jared Kushner are travelling to Germany for talks involving Ukrainians and Europeans. The choice to send Witkoff appears to be a signal that Washington sees a chance of progress. Iranian authorities have detained 18 crew members of a foreign tanker seized in the Gulf of Oman that they say was carrying 6 million litres of smuggled fuel. Iranian media reported that those detained under the ongoing investigation include the captain of the tanker, and the crew were from India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The authorities said the tanker committed multiple violations, including ignoring stop orders, attempting to flee, and lacking navigation and cargo documentation. Lionel Messi's tour of India has kicked off chaotically as fans threw objects, ripped up seats and invaded the pitch at Kolkata's Salt Lake Stadium after the Argentine soccer great made only a brief appearance at a ticketed event. Satadru Dutta, the event's chief organiser, has been detained by police. Messi was scheduled for a 45-minute visit to the stadium, but his appearance lasted just 20 minutes. Tickets for the event were priced from around $38.65, but one fan said he had paid $130. Fans in the Salt Lake Stadium threw ripped-up seats and other objects onto the field, while several people climbed a fence around the field and hurled objects. California and 19 other US states have filed a lawsuit seeking to block President Donald Trump's $100,000 fee on new H-1B visas for highly skilled foreign workers. The lawsuit in federal court in Boston is at least the third to challenge the fee announced by Trump in September, which dramatically raises the cost of obtaining H-1B visas. Currently, employers typically pay between $2,000 and $5,000 in fees. California Attorney General Rob Bonta's office said in a release that Trump lacks the power to impose the fee and that it violates federal law. The European Union has agreed to indefinitely freeze Russian central bank assets held in Europe, removing a big obstacle to using the cash to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia. The EU wants to keep Ukraine financed and fighting as it sees Russia's invasion as a threat to its own security. To do so, EU states aim to put to work some of the Russian sovereign assets they immobilized after Moscow's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Meanwhile, Thailand's leader has vowed to keep fighting on the disputed border with Cambodia, as fighter jets struck targets hours after US President Donald Trump said he had brokered a ceasefire. Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul posted on Facebook that the Southeast Asian nation would continue to perform military actions until we feel no more harm and threats to our land and people. Cambodian Premier Hun Manet said Cambodia continues to seek a peaceful resolution of disputes in line with the October agreement. Democrats on a congressional oversight panel have released new photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, including several showing now President Donald Trump. Lawmakers say they are reviewing tens of thousands of images as part of an ongoing probe. The photos include Trump with Epstein, as well as those of former President Bill Clinton, former Trump aide Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, though the women's faces are redacted. Trump has denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, and the White House has not commented. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samar.tv. Thank you for watching Samar News.